Hello, good morning. How are you doing? It's a bit of a ungodly time listening to the streaming 9:30 in the morning. I don't usually do work meetings at this time, although I have one tomorrow at 8 with a company in Saudi Arabia, but that's a time zone thing more than anything else. How are you doing? Happy Eclipse Day. I'm not entirely sure what time the eclipse is. I'm just waiting for it to get dark, I suppose. But today, we'll do a quick video, a quick roundup of what's gone on in City's world this week. There has been quite a lot. And whatever happens between Wednesday and Friday, I'll just cover it on Friday's stream, which I'll be doing with a good friend of mine who I met at the Champions League final. So today, so we'll touch on Rodri, Enzo Fernandes, Warton, Grealish, Mac Allister, and all that type of stuff. So, linked to that, overnight, Barcelona rejected PSG's bid for Ferran Torres, around 50 million euros, it was reported. Now, I don't know where they get off rejecting that. It's gone, but we'll put that to one side. Do they need to sell into race funds to buy Rodri? It seems as though they do, but whether that's actually the case or not remains to be seen. I suppose we'll find out, won't we? Because Rodri's due back on Friday, so it's Wednesday morning now. Unless they sell to Torres pretty sharpish and I don't know, the check clears and then they use that to pay for Rodri. I don't know. I don't really think it works that way, though, does it? So we'll have to see what's going on there. I'm still not sure why City want to sell Rodri. Rumoured 60 million euros today. A bid's going to go in 60 million euros, and then what? Use that, pay double to buy someone who's not as good. I mean, who's negotiating that deal? Fucking Donald Trump. I mean, it's a horrific deal. But whether City knows something we don't know, is he injured? Is he more likely, more susceptible to be injured over the next year, the remainder of his contract? Who knows? Will he be a sort of bad apple around the dressing room? I don't think so. They're all mates, aren't they? They're all mates. So you don't be an arsehole for 12 months. You might have the hump for a couple of weeks, but let's get over it. And with the experience that he's got and that walking out the door, I think it's too much. I think it's too much experience walked out the door in one summer. Pep, Ake, Stones, Bernardo, Kevin De Bruyne only a year ago. So I think it's too much to walk out the door, and it's too much to be selling just for 60 million euros. What's that? 48 million quid. What do you get for that? United paid more than that fucking wallet they got from Chelsea, that Andre Santos. I mean, what we're talking about here? What are we talking about? Like I said, unless City know something we don't. But it all just seems a bit. What are we doing? What on earth are we doing? It just seemed wild to me that we're going to consider selling it. And yes, he might kick up a stink if he stays, but he's going to play his best, isn't he? He can sign his own check in 6 months. He is not going to phone it in to, not play, I'm injured. If he could demonstrate that he can play at the top level, Champions League, Challenge the League for City, and be successful, then he can write his own check next year. If he's in and out of injury, Barcelona and other teams might think, maybe he's not worth the 500 grand a week we're budgeted for. And talking about budgeting, people are talking about, maybe he can't play 3 games a week now. I'm sure he can't. I'm not expecting him to play 3 games a week. No chance. My view is that he simply plays once a week, dips in and out. You've got Anderson to cover, Buwadi to cover, and apparently we're after somebody else, but I don't know who that is. Nico O'Reilly perhaps can come in to midfield. We'll come on to him later on. And I certainly don't understand why we're targeting Enzo Fernandes as a replacement. That just seems, wildly over the top. 120 million. Let me put that into a little bit more context as well. A little bit more context. We paid 1.7 for Enzo Maresca to be our manager, and he wants to pay 120 for Enzo Fernandes. That's almost 140 million pounds for 2 individuals. That is 70 million pound each. I know the math is pretty easy. 70 million pound for the pair of them. each of them when you divvy it up. We're giving Chelsea 140 million quid. Why are we solving Chelsea's problems? I don't understand it. And I accept the profile's different, and we want to play with two, sort of Anderson there, and Enzo Fernandes there, and have a bit more of an all-action midfield than Rodri standing there and dictating the tempo. But I mean, Anderson's never played at this level. Top of the Premier League, top of the Champions League. Enzo Fernandes, I'm not overly sure what he's done at club level, really. But he came from Benfica for a fortune. Never worth it. Has he really demonstrated at Chelsea that he's a £100 million plus player? £120 million plus player? I don't think he has. I don't think he has. I've seen. Yeah, he looks all right. You look at it, I think 70 or 80, even in today's market. You know, never dominated a league like Rodri or done what sort of Anderson did at Forest, having such a good 18 months, or even like Declan Rice at West Ham. Done anything. He's probably done a bit more than Kobe Mainoo, but that's fucking about it. And yes, he's won the World Cup. He's also been sent off in the World Cup final. And did he do much to win the World Cup 4 years ago? I don't think so. So I'm not sure. And then you put in a lot of it goes to character, doesn't it? The racism, the wanting to leave Chelsea, probably had an affair or something ran off. So it all goes to character, doesn't it? Everyone can have the odd misstep here and there, for want of a better phrase. But when you're doing an awful lot of stuff in such a small period of time, I think you've got to say this guy's a bit of a bellend. And I know you can say he's our bellend if we get him and he'll get our support, but the pressure on him will be enormous. Absolutely enormous pressure on him. You're going to away United, away at Chelsea, away at Liverpool. And he's not, and the way he behaved for Argentina, all the Falkland stuff and all that stuff. So I don't see the appeal. But what do I know? But I'd much rather keep Rodri. And then, but then, you look at other options, if not Enzo Fernandes. City have already come out and said, or not come out and said, but maybe we know that they have no interest in Adam Warton. Now, why would that be? Like, no interest. I mean, that's a bit of an odd way to describe it, isn't it? When you think the guy, he's highly rated, people thought he should have gone to the World Cup. Whether he should or shouldn't have done, other people can debate that, but I know people rate him pretty highly. Can he run? Maybe that's where he can't run quick enough, or certainly run back the way quick enough. I don't know. Is he defensively sharp enough? Apparently, he's got a few flaws in that area, but so what? That's what coaches are there for, aren't they? Make people better. Is the jump too big from Palace to City? Maybe that's why they get a bit nervous, but that doesn't hold much water either, does it? We're buying Buadi from Lille for 80 million. So I don't think you can argue a guy from Palace to City is a big jump if you are comfortable with a guy from Lille to City. So it can't be that. Have they been priced out? You fucking doubt it. If they're still interested in Enzo Fernandes at 120, Buadi at 80, Anderson at 116. I can't see Palace prices out of Warton. So I'm not sure why they haven't really got any interest in him at the moment. Maybe they'll get an interest in it. It was the next thing since sliced bread when Liverpool and United linked with him, and now we're linked with him. Been linked with him. It's maybe not actually that good after all. So I don't know. But Buadi has mentioned him. I mean, I don't know. I'm not in the know or anything, but I expect he'll be on the bench for the Community Shield. I mean, I can't see negotiating with Lille and negotiating with him taking any material time or effort. Really, it should be. Now everyone's back in the UK and everyone's back from World Cups and holidays and all that type of stuff. I think that should be wrapped up pretty quickly, and I expect him to be on the bench for the Community Shield. And I'm looking forward to seeing him play. Actually, looking forward to. I know the price can top it. I know he's coming from France. But Eden Hazard came from Lille. And look what happened there. So if you can have half the career Eden Hazard, then the ones for a winner, aren't we? I think. And talking of other midfielders as well, I'll come on to Chelsea wingers in a minute. Mac Allister, according to Ben Jacobs, has been shortlisted. Or with internal discussions in shortlisted. Mac Allister. Well, I was listening to Liverpool fan talk sport the other day, saying his legs fell off last season, and the legs only returned in the World Cup. Now, I don't know how true that is. I didn't watch that. I didn't watch Liverpool much last season. I certainly paid attention to it. But why would Liverpool want to sell? I think our opportunity to get Mac Allister came when he left Brighton, and City didn't seem to be interested. There didn't seem to be any sort of bidding war. He must have made it pretty clear that he wanted to go to Liverpool. The price was 55 mil, which was, even then, it was only 2 years ago, and it was a good price. And we didn't see very aggressive in that move. So why would Liverpool sell? Well, why would they sell to us? They I don't think they'll rival us for the league next season, but they won't see it that way. So why would they sell to us? Again, unless they know something we don't. I think the ship has sailed on him really, unless we get desperate. Which I can see us getting desperate. I can see us getting very desperate. We hang on for this Rodri evaluation. It comes in post Community Shield, so before the Bournemouth game, and then we're scratching around. Chelsea don't want fortunes. We go, no, we'll do it on the cheap. We'll go and get Enzo. We'll go and get Alexis Mac Allister, because I can see it happening. I can see this Rodri sale having shit show written all over it. Although City might take a gamble here, and I'll just share my screen here to show you what I mean. To share the screen, Man City games. So if you look here, forget the Community Shield. Bournemouth at home, right? Bournemouth at home. We would expect to be able to beat them without Rodri or Enzo Fernandes, wouldn't we? Palace away, the same. So City might take the view that we'll just take this to the wire, because there's only 2 games before the transfer window closes. And apparently Viana does like a deal late on in the window. But having a deal late on in the window for Sporting Lisbon is one thing. Doing it for Manchester City in a highly competitive Premier League, when you've got a new manager, a whole host of new players, etc., is a big step. And then because you got the transfer window after the Palace game, then we come into Coventry at home, so give people the debuts there, and then United away. And is that the strategy? Is it? I'm not. I mean, maybe it is a strategy, but I'm certainly not convinced. But this thing's got shit show written all over it. Getting peanuts for him, and I'm to spend double on somebody who's not as good. I mean, what the fucking hell is that all about? That is wild to me. Wow, I can't get out of here. Cannot get out of here. And so we'll move on from Rodri, because I've said quite a lot on him already on the other videos as well. But the Warton and Mac Allister things are semi-interesting. Well, Pedro Neto, someone tweeted out last night that City have no interest. But then Fabrizio Romano tweeted out today that we have an interest, but we're miles apart in valuation. Well, I like that house around the corner for 3 million quid, but I haven't got 3 million quid. So am I interested really? Maybe not. I'm interested if it came down to 400 grand, but not at 3 million. So maybe City are interested in him if it comes down to something like 40 million, but they're not interested in it at 70. At 40 million, I'm like, yeah, all right. But again, you want to pad the squad out with people like him. I'm not sure that's a good idea, What's he ever done? Do you know what I mean? What's his CV? Fucking did all right for Wolves. He scores a few goals. He scores more than Savio. But maybe I'm falling into the Savio trap, I've been adamant that we need to flog him, but he's still in. And has he looked good in pre-season? He looked lively. But he always looks lively, doesn't he? And then does fuck all. So should we be keeping him? Should we not? I don't know. But selling him and getting Pedro Neto doesn't excite me. It might improve us in the very short term. And maybe that's what we need. New manager. Maybe we need some experience, some normal players who we know what we're going to get. Whether it's not going to be like super exciting, but it's not going to be like dog performances either. So maybe Pedro Neto will be a good sort of steady Eddie signing, but not for 7 million quid. I mean, phone it. Forget it. And again, you've got to think what's realistic. Is it realistic that we go to Chelsea, having already spent 17 million on their manager, which they weren't happy about, 120 million pound on their midfield player, and then go back and say, we'll have your winger for 70? Does that seem realistic to you? It seems for the birds, as far as I'm concerned. You can't buy 2 players from the same club on top of the manager for fortunes when I'd value every one of them at half. So that doesn't seem realistic to me. But again, if it comes to it and we flog Savio at the death, and we're like, right, we need someone, and we're just going to knock on Chelsea's door and give them 70 million quid for Pedro Neto, because our negotiating position is not going to be particularly strong, is it? Leaving everything to the death. So maybe I've fallen into the trap and say just keep Savio for another year, just run it again, so you can have, what can we have? We can have Doku left, Doku on the left, Semenyo on the left, maybe Savio on the right, Foden on the right, dip and alternate that way. Have them four as your wing options. I quite like the idea of having Foden on the right wing. We've said it for ages. He can cut in, he can shoot, and as he demonstrated, even in bad years, he knows where the net is more than most of our players. So yeah, I'm happy to run with Foden on the right. And again, the Champions Shield starts on Sunday. The season starts a week on Sunday for us. There's a lot of business to be done, and I don't think it's a good idea to be doing it at such a late stage when you have such structural things that you need to do. Centre midfield player, goal scoring right winger. So on the subject of right wingers, I had a look last night at Nico Williams' release clause. It's around 90 million euros, and his wages are about 300,000 euros a week. That's achievable for City when you think about it. 80 million euros. We'll negotiate with him as well. Maybe get it down a little bit. And maybe pay a bit more and pay installments, whatever. But he's achieved everything he can at Bilbao. So I don't see why Nico Williams isn't an option for us. Someone who isn't an option for us after Maresca's comments during the week is Jack Grealish. Now, I'm not a fan of Jack Grealish. I never was. You can go back and check my text messages if you want. I'll dig them out. When we were looking for 100 million quid for him, I was like, there's no way we're paying 100 million quid for him. He's so nothing over his career at Villa that shows he's worth 100 million quid. Nowhere near it. But we paid it nonetheless. His first season comes. And bear in mind his first season, we were 2-0 down at home to Villa on the last day of the season to win the league. We were in the shit, and he didn't get on. £100 million winger didn't get on when we needed 3 goals in 20 minutes. Didn't get on. And then the next season comes round. And the thing is, he wins these free kicks, right, Jack Grealish? He wins these free kicks. He never wins a penalty. No one wins a penalty. Ever. So he's all right winning free kicks 40 yards from goal, which the opposition will lap up because our set piece taking isn't great. And then we'll we won't do anything from when there's a penalty or shoot hard, or he just can't score. And I don't really rate him at all. Never have. He's had 4 good months in 5 years. He's had a couple of good weeks at Everton. Now he's injured again. He's got a year left on his contract. He's earning 300 grand a week. City don't want him. No one else wants him either, I don't think. I mean, I heard someone on Talk Sports say we'd be trying to get 20, 30 million for him. We are not getting a penny for Jack Grealish. We'd be lucky if someone took half his wages off us and left it at that. I don't reckon City step my hand off. We'll just go halves on wages. What's it, 50 million quid a year? Yeah. It'll cost City 7.5 million quid next year for Jack Grealish. I reckon step my hand off for him. And no one's paying for him. And he's getting 300 grand a week. No one. It's not worth it. Not worth it. I mean, Villa won't look at him. Where would he go? Maybe Newcastle. Maybe Newcastle need a big name signing because they've sacked the manager, they've sold all the good players. Maybe they're looking for someone who might get the crowd on side. But Newcastle fans, they're not daft, are they? They're all daft. Everyone's seen what Grealish has done for the last 3 or 4 years, which is very little. So I can't. I don't know where he's. I don't know where he's gonna find a home. I mean, I don't know. Saudi Arabia, fucking doubt it. Can't get a drink over there, can you? So can't. We can go. You can go live in Bahrain, I suppose, and then drive over to play Reijnders. But I can't see him going to Saudi Arabia. Italian teams, maybe, but again, they're all skint members, aren't they? No one's going to pay for him. No one's going to pay for him. It'll just be a deal on wages getting Grealish out the door. That's all it'll be, in my view. A deal on wages. Talk about somebody's found a home. Maresca's mentioned that Nico O'Reilly will now he's still seen as a left back rather than a starting centre midfield player, which I like. I like him at left back. He's brilliant. I think he's brilliant. No one gets past him. He's got very much like the Gareth Bale sprint when he gets going. He comes to midfield. He knows where the net is. Fantastic. Love the player. Right. But what does that mean for Aït-Nouri? Right. I was thinking this today. I was thinking Aït-Nouri. So City's starting 11. Starting defence. O'Reilly left back, Guardiola left centre back. Let's say Diaz, and then Nunes at right back. Right? Okay, that's fine. That's great. However, you've got Mark Gay and Kusov sat on the bench there, so they're going to go right. Hold on, we can't have Mark Gay sat on the bench. So let's move everyone over one. So let's have Guardiola left back, Diaz, Gay, and Nunes. All right, and then Kusov can dip in and out. Where does Aït-Nouri fit into that? I don't see where he fits in. I think he was a squad player last year. He's a bit of a mad ass when he got subbed off away at Burnley. I don't rate him particularly highly. Yeah, he can do kick-ups, he can run forward, but he doesn't like running back, does he? So I'm not overly sure where Aït-Nouri fits. I wouldn't be surprised if he's sold. I know there's been no links. But I wouldn't be surprised if we sell him between now and obviously at the end of the window. And if not this window, I can certainly see going in January. I just do not see where Aït-Nouri gets games next season. I don't see how it works. It just isn't. It doesn't go. The numbers don't work to get Aït-Nouri on the pitch, in my view. So yeah, I think it'll be sold. I think it'll be sold this summer. That's my view. Someone else who might be selling is Marmoush. They asked our manager what he thought about him. Is he happy playing? He said he's a bit like Trafford. When he doesn't play, if they're not playing, they're not happy. Well, shortly after, that was mentioned, Trafford had gone, hadn't he? So Marmoush, where's he going to go? Where's Marmoush going to go? He's going to pay for him. What did he pay? 6 million quid for him 18 months ago. Would he get our money back for him? Yeah, I think so. I think we can get our money back for him. I keep hearing he's on like £300 a week, and I just don't accept it. I don't accept that fee. I don't accept that number at all. He came from Frankfurt. There's no way we give anywhere near an uplift to get him to £300 a week. Nowhere near it. In fact, I'll do it now. What does Frankfurt's highest earner get paid? Let's have a look. But Eintracht Frankfurt, so we don't get Eintracht Frankfurt. Let's see. No, I don't mean expensive player. No. He was dead. He was shite. Right, well, wages. Let's try that. Yes, there you go. Eintracht Frankfurt wages, here we go. 54 million quid, player salary. I can't do it. I'm not doing this now. Right, I'll delete this. I'll check for the next show. But I reckon they'll be on like 75 grand a week, their highest earners, right? So there's no way on earth that Marmoush got anywhere near to 300 grand a week from us. So I think that the market for him is pretty open for him if he's on normal wage, which I expect he is. Villa have got someone. I can see him going to Newcastle. I can see him going to Tottenham. I can see him going to Italy. I can see he knows where the net is. Guy knows where the net is, and he can shoot. Unfortunately for him, he plays behind Erling Haaland, which is a problem. Another thing that he can't do, he can't play his back to goal, and he can't play on the wing. So he's very limited in where he can play. Maybe we'd let it run for 6 months, see where we are in January, and see who's desperate, and you can flog him. You can flog him to then. But I think he'll go this summer. I'm just looking. Yeah, so 65,000 euros. Michy Batshuayi is on 90. Someone called Jonathan Burke, 94,000 euros. 100,000 euros. Ritsu Doran. So 100,000 euros is about 80 grand a week, right? So let's say Mamouche on 80 grand a week. Let's be generous and say it's 100 grand a week at Frankfurt. It's generous, 100 grand a week at Frankfurt. I think City come in and said, we'll treble it. No crowns will be a treble it. It's absurd. No. So I'm not having that. I think there's a home. I think there's a home for Mamouche somewhere, probably the Premier League. Newcastle's crying out for someone like him. Our business has not really worked out. I said it last season. We had a good World Cup. Yeah, get him in there. Who else is there? There are many others, is there really? There's got to pay 60 million quid. Nottingham Forest. There you go. Mamouche and Nottingham Forest. That's my tip. There you go. Nottingham Forest got cash on the hit. And they're after Reijnders as well, aren't they? Let's give them a job lot. Give them a job lot. Hey, Reijnders and Mamouche, 100 million. Come on, roll up. Get him. Reijnders, that's another one. I'll finish on Reijnders. I think this guy's shite. I think he's no good. I don't think he's any good to us whatsoever. I think he's wholly unsuited to be a Premier League footballer. He's too weak. He's got a daft smile. He can't shoot properly. He misses the target on countless occasions. He's knocked over the ball, knocked on the ball too quickly. He can't run back. He has got very little in terms of redeeming features for a Premier League footballer. He just doesn't have what's required. He just doesn't have the necessary. And if we can flog him this summer, you reckon we'll get our money back, 55 million euros. It's about our money back, isn't it? Which is about right. But if we end up keeping him, he's not going to play next season. I just don't see how he plays. You've got Anderson, Buadi, Rodri or Enzo Fernandes, maybe Kovacic and Nico Gonzalez still in there. Where does Reijnders fit? And the longer he stays here, his value just goes down, because he's shit. He's shit. So we can get our money back from him. I don't know what Forest seeing him. Maybe they want to play on the break and they can see him breaking forward, very much like he did against Wolves at home, Wolves away last season. But that was a long time ago, and that was against one of the worst teams the league has ever seen. So I wouldn't read too much into that. Although I did read loads into it at the time. Like Rico Lewis, great. Reijnders, great. Here we go. We're going to win the league. But we didn't. Nearly did, but we didn't. So I think overall, I think the squad's in good shape. But we're going to create ourselves two massive problems. Sell Rodri, we're in the shit. Big time. Because you've got to pay a fortune for Enzo Fernandes, who know we are desperate. And we have cash on the hip. Or we go look around, scratching around for Mac Allister or Warton or someone else on the cheap, or try and muddle through with Kovacic and Nico Gonzalez. He's got shit show written all over it. Similar to the right wing. It's too late to start selling people now. Sell Savio now and what? Go and buy Pedro Neto for fortunes. That can't be. That simply cannot be the extent of our scouting network. Who do you want, Enzo? The guy from your former club? Is that it? You might as well disband the CFA if that's the case. That cannot be right. So it can't be right, can it? It simply can't be right. So we need to do this. It's got shit show written all over it. We have got a problem if we start selling players now and start scratching around. Because Hugo Bayana, does he have the experience? Doing something at Sporting Lisbon is materially different to doing something at Manchester City in a highly competitive Premier League when we're looking to win the Premier League and compete in the Champions League, as well as retain both the cups we've won. So to start scratching around now is problematic. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for the like. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate it. I always forget to mention that. So yeah, if you're here, please like and subscribe. It helps apparently. I think the squad's in good shape as it is now. Right, as we sit here now, it's in good shape. Right, I've not got a problem with it. Let's roll. You start selling Rodri out of it, problem. Start selling Savio out of it, problem. Not necessarily Savio going's a problem. It's who comes in is the problem. A journeyman midfield, a journeyman winger, Pedro Neto. Come on. And in 18 months, we'll be sat there going, "Is any good?" No wonder he's played for Wolves and Chelsea couldn't wait to get rid of him. So, and we're going to go back and give Chelsea the best part, 200 million quid for Enzo Fernandes and Pedro Neto. What are we on about? What are we on about? It's crackers. It's fucking crackers. It makes no commercial sense at all. In addition to that, Chelsea fans their chance to win the league this year. They don't know Europe. They've spent a fortune again. Yeah, they've sold as well. They've spent a fortune again. And we're going to go and solve their problems. We're going to solve their problems. They have massive debts to holding companies and all the rest. I'm not going to go into it. But they've not got Europe. They've got massive holes in their finances. And we're going to swan in and solve them. What are we doing that for? What are we going to solve their problem for? It just seems bizarre to me that we've been entertaining it, paying this sort of money for these sort of players. And whilst to say the valuation for Neto, what Chelsea want and what City are looking for is looking to pay there's a gap in it. Well, we're still interested, aren't we? Clearly, by the looks of things. But so yeah, I think we're in good shape. But selling people is going to be a shit show. I'm going to call it the day in a second. I've got a meeting at 10:30. So thank you for joining. I'm going to. I'll be back on Friday. I've got a mate of mine will be joining us, lifelong City fans. So we're going to chat about the transfer window in general and preview the Community Shield against Arsenal. So we'll do that Friday. That'll probably be out Friday afternoon. So please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. But yeah, apparently Rodri's the bid's about to come in from Rodri for €60 million plus add-ons, which I don't think he's anywhere near good enough. Anywhere near good enough. I mean, what sort of strategy is that? Before I go, what sort of strategy is that? What sort of strategy is it? Yeah, we'll take €60 million for our best player, and then what we'll do, we'll go and spend double on someone who's not as good. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. Out of the deal, out of the fucking steal, more like. Honestly, it doesn't make any sense. Unless City knows something we don't know in terms of his injury and things like that. Well, do we have enough experience at the top of the house? Maresca, been in management, 2.5 years? A year and a half at the top level of the Premier League. Hugo Bayana, is he experienced enough at the top level? We'll find out, won't we? We'll find out in 2.5 weeks where we're up to. But I don't know. I'm optimistic about the season. I don't rate the manager. I don't rate our manager. I don't think he's got the CV. But I rate the players. But if he's not selling the players, particularly Rodri, then we've got a problem, haven't we? We've got a problem. We've got a big problem. So, right, okay. Well, we'll leave it there. Like I said, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It's very much appreciated, your time this morning. And, yeah, please leave a comment as well. Let me know what you think. And I'll be back on Friday. So, thank you very much and take care.